Hey guys, new day, new video. Novation has released new firmware for the Peak and the Summit, and in this video I will show you a selection of these new features. The Novation PEAK is one of my favorite synthesizers in my collection. I think it's great to see that Novation keeps developing this synthesizer. For both the PEAK and the Summit there is a 2.0 firmware update. It's a free update, of course. A number of functions in this update are exclusive to the PEAK or to the Summit. Besides the new features added in this firmware update, there are also a lot of bugs removed from the unit. An overview can be found in the addendum of this 2.0 update. I will do this using patches made by me and some friends, and at the bottom of this video there is a download link where you can download these free patches. Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell and get notified every time we upload a new video. So enough talking, let's start up the PEAK and let's dive into this new free firmware update. The first thing I want to talk about is patch queue. This is a function that must be by law added to every synthesizer in the world with presets. How annoying is it when you're editing a new sound and for one of a reason you press patch or whatever and it changes to a new patch and all your things you have just added is gone. This was also happening with the PEAK until now, because if you now choose another patch will begin blinking, and if you do nothing you still have your original patch until you hit patch, and then you have your new preset. New in the voice menu is spread. It's not new. They used to call it Unispread, and that is now broken into 4 different modes. So press voice, and here you have the spread mode. In Deverge, and that was formerly called Unispread, the behavior remains the same. The more voices you add to the sound, the further the voices diverge from the center of the stereo field. In the second one, and that's alternate, as you add more voices, spread will padding the even number of voices to the left or to the right. The third one is Deverge 2. The voices still run around, but the spread effect is more panning to the left and to the right. And this is a great effect when you use this on ARP sounds. Deverge 2. I will put the panning position first into 0. And if I increase it, some of the voices stay panned left to right, and some of them stays in the middle. And if I add more voices, we get more stereo effect. The fourth is NoteVal or note value. The voices retain their stereo position as usual, but if you increase or decrease the pen position, the notes C, E and G will appear in a different place in your stereo panning, and that will give you a cool sound. So let me demonstrate that for you. So first you click voice, you have a C, here nothing happens, until I use spread. Now you have a more left to right panning, and if I add the pen position to plus, now it's more to the left. So now you can change the position of your stereo. Also new is the modulation matrix destination pen position and 0, 1, 2, 3 shape. Let me demonstrate that. Modulation, I have pen position, I have added that to the aftertouch, and when the depth is on +0, nothing happens. So I can play a sound. Add some aftertouch. Nothing happened. When I go to minus, and now when I press aftertouch, you will hear the sound disappear to another channel, in this case the left one. And also the other way around to the right one. So in this way you can add some cool effects, stereo effects to your sound when modulating aftertouch or with your modulation wheel or whatever destination you choose. The second one is 0123 shape, and this modulates the shape control of all the 3 oscillators simultaneously. So I have the same setup. I add this to the aftertouch, so when I play a sound or play a chord in this case and press aftertouch, nothing will happen. But when I increase the depth, you get a really cool sound. It's maybe a little bit too much. And you hear or the other way around. So that's cool. So now you have more control in your sound. There are also new amplify envelope modulation, which you can choose. Noise as a modulation source. So they added noise to the modulation source menu, so you can use it as a modulation source for both in the modulation matrix and in the effects modulation matrix. So I have here a sound, a percussion sound, and when I press it and I fiddle around with the frequency, you will hear there will be some noise added, but not that much. Noise at all, because this is just overdrive. From that particular sound. But when I add more depth, you will hear, if I do plus, you will have noise, and if I open up the frequency, the noise will disappear. The other way around is much cooler. It gets a really grainy percussion sound. I really love this sound. Chorus menu is flanger and what Novation called planger. So you already had chorus, really cool chorus sound. And now there is flanger, and I really love this sound. Let's play a chord. Get more feedback. also hear the stereo. It's so fantastic update. The plunger follows the same approach as the flanger. It even works further than reduced chorus configuration, and you get a more high sound feedback, and that sounds like this. Let's put the feedback to 0. Let's play a chord. You can hear the stereo. In the effect modulation destination, they separate the modulation destination from the reverb high pass filter and the reverb low pass filter into 4 damping and filter options. You can find that in FX, and then one of the FX slots I modulated to the modulation wheel. So if I choose reverb low damp, and I play with my mod wheel, you hear that the reverb is a little bit more filtered. Maybe a little bit less depth. If I switch to high pass, you even hear this more. So if I play some notes, and I play with my modulation wheel, this is your low pass. Your high pass. Also, a new cool feature is ARP change. Now you can set the probability of the steps playing by the ARP sequencer. To enable this, you go to page 4 of your ARP settings, and you can choose between 10% and 100%. 10% will give you each step from 1 to 10 chance of triggering a note, and if you set it to 100%, each step will always play. there was a new mode, there was chord mode, and I will come back to that. So first, that started in the chord 1 mode. That's already in the Peak before this new update. So arp change is now set to 10%, and I will play a chord and let's see what happens. So you hear in chord 1 mode, it will place the chord as it is, and you will hear the triggering of all the 3 notes at the same time. But there is a new function, and this is really cool, and that is chord 2 modus. What this does, and this affects this relates to the arp change setting. In the chord 2 mode, the arp change is working per note. So if I make a chord, and I will set it on, the arpeggio of the arp will play not the whole chord, but the individual notes of that chord, and also 10%, 100% for triggering. So let's play a chord, sorry. And now you hear triggering all the notes together into 1 chord. I really love this function. You also can set the sync rate. And you can also set the swing, so let's put back to 16th. Again, I think this is a really great feature in this new firmware update. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do not forget to download the new and free presets we made for the Peak and Summit. See you next time.